Restaurant Marketing Secrets, episode 111. I'm your host, Matt Plapp, and we're brought to you by America's Best Restaurants. America's Best Restaurants is on a path to help you find more frequent customers, because infrequent customers don't pay the bills. But unfortunately, our research shows that the majority of your customers are infrequent, and they're infrequent because of the lack of customer retention tools. And one of those tools we're going to talk about today is email marketing. It's wild to think about the evolution of email and honestly the longevity of it, because I remember when I did my first email campaign back around 2001, I think is when it was, and the results we got. So first, I'm going to squash something that is out there that a lot of people have bought into, is that email's dead. Email's not dead. Facebook's not dead. Google's not dead. There's all these things I hear restaurant owners tell me that, oh, we don't do that anymore because of this. And a lot of times they're basing it off of their own interaction with the product. So let me go back to the beginning. So 2001, when I sent my first ever mass email, it was for our boat and RV consignment store that me, my dad, and brother started in 1999. We had just gotten ATVs in as a product we were going to sell. We had 6-wheel max ATVs, and then we later added Arctic Cat ATVs. I want to say it might have been the next year. But the email we sent out was about a new model of this ATV that came in. And we had, I want to say, somewhere in the neighborhood like 1,000 emails at this point. We had went to a couple different boat and RV shows. We had lead cards people would fill out. We had a form on our website. Yes, we had a form like a lot of you don't correctly have right now, unfortunately, back in 2001. And we actually started the company Outdoor Consignments online. It was outdoorconsignments.com. It was a local Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky boat and RV consignment website. That's all it was. And within, that was September of 99. So September, October, November, December. By January, we opened up a brick and mortar lot. When I say brick and mortar, it was a Heartland Yard barn, which was a 10 by 12 barn for your backyard that we convinced Heartland reseller locally to give us for free in exchange for us putting the sign on it on our lot. And that was our first brick and mortar location. Actually, that was actually about 6 months in. I lied. The first 6 months we had a camper that we used, was a consignment camper we had for sale, one of my dad's friends, and we used that as our office. But we had started this business back then online, then went to brick and mortar. But from day one, and I don't know why, I can't honestly say that I had some insight about what the internet was going to be, because if I did have the insight that it looks like I might have had, I would have done a lot more with it since then. We've done a lot, but not what, knowing, looking back, like, oh, shit, man, I really dropped the ball. But back then, we had all of the tools I preach about today with businesses. We captured data on our website. We captured data offsite at events. We captured data on the lot. You did not leave our presence without giving us your name, phone number, email, and the units you were interested in, because we knew that was going to be a very important part of us following up and doing our job correctly. And that's what I want to talk about today, because that is one of the most important parts of your restaurant. I'm not going to harp on this topic, because today's topic is email marketing and when and where and like all that good stuff. But I'm going to say you aren't even gathering the data. People are walking into your restaurant every day. They're going to your website every day. They're interacting with your social media every day. And there is zero attempt to get their name and contact info. So when I sent that first email back in 2001-ish, I wish I knew when it was. That would be cool to be able to go back and look. It was about the ATVs. And there was right around 1,000 people. And I'll never forget, because like 600 people replied. It was ludicrous. It took me, I think it might have taken me a week, maybe 2 weeks to respond to all of the emails, because I was doing this at night and weekends. I worked in radio full time. So I was in radio sales full time. My brother was full time with, I think it was Cincinnati Millicron was the name of the company. And my dad was doing this as kind of a side hustle / hobby as well, because we didn't know what it was going to become. It ended up becoming a $15 million a year boat dealership. And so at night I would do this. So like I'd get home. I worked radio 7 to 7 basically in sales and marketing. And I would work at night on the website, on the emails. Didn't have email on my phone. Didn't have email on my computer at the office. It was all on my desktop at the house. And I would do those emails and reply to them. And we had a lot of great conversations. But I always get the question, Matt, when and how often should you email your customers? So, number one, the cool thing about today's email marketing is there's a couple opportunities. Number one, you can split test. Like we have a couple products we use. We use a product called ManyChat, and we use a product called Drip. And we also use a product called High Level. So we have 3 products. And all of them have the ability to split test subject lines, opening paragraphs, days and the time you send stuff. But one of the basics that's never really went away, which I'll encourage you to do, is I want you to think back to when you were a kid. Now, I'm assuming you're my age. I'm 46. About the median age for our clients is right around late 40s, early 50s. So I'm assuming the majority of you are. If you're not, Google this. But back in the day, when I was a kid and email was coming up, you would get an email saying, you'd have a little voice, "You've got mail." Whenever you got an email on your AOL, "You've got mail." And by the way, a friend of mine was one of the people that was in charge of those CDs that got sent out for America Online back in the day. He was one of the ones that brought all that up and did that. So you can blame Chris. But I say that noise because I want you to think about that right there. The reason that "You've got mail" popped up meant you were logged in, meant you were ready to receive an email. And so a lot of businesses, like if I go to my inbox right now, I've got emails that were sent at 6:47, 6:31, 6:01, 5:24, 3:04, 3:02, 1:40, 12:29. Now that's a West Coast company, so actually they're Central Time, so that was sent at 11:49 their time. YouTube sent me an email at 10:38, not terrible. And then I had some emails at like 9 or 10 last night. But I want you to think about if your customers are awake. Are they ready to hear that you've got mail? And that's not happening for most people at 1, 3, 3, 5, 6, 6, 6, like just now 6:53. Because majority of people that are up right now aren't up at a desk like I am recording podcasts all morning. They're getting ready with their kids, getting in the car, going somewhere. So the ideal time is when people are ready and able to engage and respond in your email, which from what I have seen falls between that 9 to 11 o'clock time period. And then people typically go to lunch 11 to 1-ish. So there's opportunity there, but there's less because I found that people are more engaged in social at those times and less email because they're getting out of the office, getting out of work. And so then you come back after lunch and it's like 1 to 5. After 6, 7 o'clock, I would go into that 7 to 9 time when they're on the sofa watching NCIS or sports. So you got to avoid, in my opinion, early morning, overnight, early morning, lunchtime, that dinner rush hour when they drive home, not dinner rush hour, work rush hour, and then you want to be late at night, not late at nighttime. I would say before 10 o'clock. Those are the times that people are most likely to get that or hear a noise or see a notification. And that's when you want to think about when you want to send it. Now, how often to send it? It all depends. Depends on what you're doing. I'm actually in the middle of experimenting a lot with our list on this and experimenting with clients. I'm a big fan of clients segmenting their list and not, you shouldn't email the same people every week. One week it should be your frequent customers. Next week it should be your lost customers. And next week it should be new customers. Next week it should be women. Next week men. I look at it that if you have 52 weeks a year Your customers should hear from you about 26 times a year. And of those 26 times a year, about 18 of them should not be about you. They should be a little different. And I'm going to go into that in a future podcast. I think I've already done it, I'm sure, about what to email. I just walked by Dawn's office and my team, and she's got a giant bowl or jar of M&Ms in there for our Christmas party this week. And we're having our Christmas party the weekend before Thanksgiving because it's the only time we could get people to travel. We got some international team coming in. We couldn't get people to travel everywhere, so this was great. But she's got a jar of M&Ms that we're going to use for some type of contest, counting. It's a great example of what you can do in an email that's not about your restaurant, is drive people from the email to social media for a contest. It's really damn easy, like how many M&Ms is in this. So I want you to think about when you send your emails, number one, are the people able to hear the "you've got mail"? If they're able to hear it, and in today's world, obviously that's not "you've got mail." That is the vibration of the phone, notification, or they at their desk, they see it pop up. And then the second part is you shouldn't be emailing them every week. Shouldn't be emailing them bull crap about your restaurant every week. I got an email this weekend from a restaurant I like that said, XYZ restaurant newsletter. Last time I checked, nobody wants a newsletter from a restaurant. So let's think about topics that your email should be and talk about that in the in a future podcast, because there's definitely opportunity there to help a lot of you improve your email marketing, because email marketing is not dead. Email marketing is still alive and kicking. I'm seeing clients get 50 to 60% open rates. I'm seeing clients get, some people get 4 to 5% open rates. And the concept behind the differences there is using the product correctly. That's all I got. I'm Matt Plapp. If you are a restaurant in need of advice, in need of help, the first thing I want you to do is follow me on all my social channels. I give out content for free every day that you can digest and you can take into consideration for helping market your business. If you go to mattplapp.com and you scroll all the way down, I'll go there with you right now. Let's do it. Matt Plapp, MattPlapp.com. And I'll scroll all the way down to the bottom, and there is a messenger button. There's Facebook, there's Instagram, there's LinkedIn, there's YouTube, and there's TikTok. And I actually have 4 YouTubes now, so we got to figure out how to market that on there, because I got a couple for my shorts, a couple for my restaurant content, a couple for another podcast. But just go there and follow those and engage in those and look at those. And I'll say this. I did a podcast recently that you are what you digest. That if what you're digesting on a daily basis is BS, is not stuff relevant to you, if you're just scrolling through TikTok and Facebook and YouTube Shorts and YouTube aimlessly watching just random stuff that's not going to help you move forward, you're hurting your business. I can tell you, if you follow my channels and you engage in my content, you're going to see it's not useless information. It's pertinent information that's going to help you move your business forward and get to the next level. That's all I got. I'll see you next episode.